My name is Lori. I've been volunteering with DAWS for about 3 years. I'm a dog socializer. I help to walk the dogs, I help train the dogs, and I work with transports, bringing up the dogs into the shelter. Today's transport we're getting from a shelter down in Kentucky, and we're just bringing up 6 dogs today. Okay. This transport is one of our smaller transports, and we just come here, pick up the crates, we'll meet the truck, and then just take the dogs out and bring them back.
The mission of DAWS is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome cats and dogs, companion animals.
The organization rescues animals from all kinds of situations, whether it's abandonment or from high-kill shelters or from other situations where people are unable to keep their pets any longer.
DAWS is a no-kill shelter, which means when an animal comes to us, they stay with us until we find an adoptive home for them.
They receive medical care, socialization. We've got a lot of volunteers who spend time with the animals. And then our adoption counselors meet prospective adopters and make the right match between the animal and the people.
I'm so impressed with how DAWS has handled their interface with the people who want to adopt. There's no reason why it shouldn't be a wonderful experience for everybody. And that's what it's been at DAWS, and I'm so grateful to them.
We want the adoption to be a success. We want to set up the adoption to succeed. We make our adopters feel that we're there to help them if they need us.
This year, we had an adoption of a dog, Happy, who had been in the shelter for 4.5 years. And he had worked intensively with the training volunteers. And it's because of that work and because of the work of the adoption counselors that Happy was able to find his home.
Even though DAWS is wonderful, it's still, you know, not a home. And you see all your friends come and go, and everybody else gets homes, and here he is, you know, still not with a family. In the beginning, I kind of thought, well, we're not really ready for a third. And then after about a couple of weeks of thinking about it, I said to Alex, like, this is just too sad, we need to adopt this dog. And so I actually emailed our trainer Bruce and said, what do you think? Would you think he'd be a good fit with Sally and Lynn, because he knows them so well? And he said absolutely. And in a number of days they were all introduced, and weeks later he was here.
He's a great dog. He's a good guy. He's my little guy.
Yeah.
One of the special things about DAWS is that we are concerned with animals outside of our shelter. For that, we have our clinic, which is on the 2nd floor of our shelter, and we're able to offer low-cost spay and neuter to the community, as well as run a TNR program. TNR is trap, neuter, and return. We're able to help control the feral cat population in the communities that we serve.
Don't judge the place by the surroundings, no matter how simple they are or where a shelter is. Judge the shelter by the people who are running it and what care they take.
There are people who come in and feed and medicate animals regardless of the weather outside. You know, if there's 12 inches of snow or if it's 110 degrees, there are always people coming to the shelter to make sure the animals are cared for.
It's just the whole process is really rewarding, just working with the animals. That's the part that I enjoy the most.
Grayson was found outside a store in a carrier. Somebody had just dumped him. At least they left him in a carrier so he wasn't on the road. The kittens are adorable and will always find a home. The older cats most people don't want. They want a younger cat that will grow up with their children or whatever. And we're already adults, and I wanted an older cat as kind of as a test. You know, I picked him up and held him to see how he'd respond, and there was no biting, there was no scratching. He purrs loud and all the time. It was very obvious right away that this was a good cat and he would be a good companion, and he's just absolutely an angel, a total angel.
Our home is this building on 147 Grassy Plain Street, but with that building comes a large amount of overhead that our adoption fees just simply won't cover.
There's definitely a lot of expenses that go into running a shelter that people don't realize or don't think about until you're there. And it's something as small as, hey, we don't have a roll of paper towels to clean something up. You know, every little bit helps.
We have wish list items, but They're more than wishes. We're going to make them happen. We'd love to have a staff veterinarian 5 days a week at the shelter. Not only would that help our animals in the shelter, that would help the community by being able to do more low-cost spay-neuter.
And in the long term, down the road, we would love to open the doors to a state-of-the-art shelter that is a welcoming environment for people, a safe and comfortable environment for the pets, and really enables us to expand our rescue operation and our outreach into the community.
We do the best we can with what we have, but if we could help more animals, that would be a dream come true, really.
This is Paddington. Paddington is a DAWS alumni, and he's my 100-pound lapdog. When I saw Paddington, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to walk him and just see what he's all about, because he just had these soulful eyes. How could somebody have, let this dog go? And that's when DAWS came in and scooped him up, and, everything happens for a reason. And I know that, he was put into my life for a reason. He's just a big sweetie boy.
Shelters provide a very important service. If DAWS wasn't around, it would be a very sad community. And it would say a lot about the community that it didn't care.
I mean, they've helped us. They've given us our dogs, which, pretty much are our lives, We love them. I mean, every day of our life is like, the dogs.
And what inspires me is just we're all there for the same reason. And that's these animals that just need us for, just that love. I mean, that's all they want is love.
Cats and dogs were domesticated by people. So we are ultimately responsible for caring for these innocent lives.
I just feel that the animals can't speak for themselves, and I think someone needs to speak for them, and I think DAWS speaks for the animals.
Every single animal that comes through our door is rewarding to see them get a home, but it's the ones that are quote-unquote handicapped in some way, or the ones that were so shy that you just thought that they would spend the rest of their lives in the shelter, and then to see them go out the door and get the pictures of them in their new homes as they're sprawled on the couch or sitting on someone's lap, it's amazing to see those stories.
In this affluent country, in this affluent section of the country, who cannot support their local shelters, is saying an awful lot about their own selfish interest and are not thinking about their community and the animals that we've bred, allowed to be bred by not neutering, or allowed to be abandoned. That's a cruel criticism for a society, I think, and I think we're better than that.
We are at Exit 2 in Danbury, and I'm just getting the crate set up, and then we pretty much just wait for the van to get here. You feel like you're taking a part in rescuing these animals, to help save them. And then once you do one, you get addicted. I call it my therapy. So we picked up the 6 dogs, and we have one that's a little shy. She's gonna need a little training on the leash. The other ones look fairly happy, and I think they'll go rather quickly. We are set. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you. So much. Good to
You're
see
welcome.
you.
Yeah, you too. So we have the 6 loaded into the truck now, so we're just gonna go back to the shelter, walk them a little bit, and give them their supper, and start all over tomorrow.